Dr. Moale from University of Venda. Doctor, will you please share with us a bit on the research you conduct recently?
Good morning, Prof. Thank you very much for having me today. Yes, I'm in the Institute for Rural Development, which is situated in the School of Agriculture at the University of Venda. At the University of Venda, I'm more into rural development. I'm an animal scientist by training, but over the years, the knowledge I've been gaining through experience and my knowledge in agricultural science in general, I'm applying it. So in other words, it's research and research development within the rural communities. And in this case, we are using this as a vehicle for rural development. Mainly, the focus is into food security, animal production, and indigenous knowledge systems. For the present moment, I'm leading two research activities. The first one is on ethnoveterinary medicine for village chickens, so that at least we can see how we can improve food security through village chickens, because most rural communities, each household has got at least a village chicken. Then the other one is on socio-hydrological resilience of small-scale farmers. And in this case, we are looking into water security. And this one is funded by USAID under the PEC program, which is known as Partnership for Enhanced Engaged Research. And we are doing it with the researchers there at the University of Venda. The other one is at Montana University in America, and then researchers at UNISA and researchers at Independent Institute for Education, MSA. It was then called Monash, South Africa. Linked to that as well is two researches where I'm a co-investigator. We are looking at sustenance of water security for humans and livestock. And this we are doing with the researchers at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. So rural communities targeted are those in KwaZulu-Natal and Limpopo. Then lastly is the research on food, energy, and water security with the researchers in America. So basically, those are the researches I'm involved in together with colleagues and students, all in the realm of impacting society.
Continuing from this, how do you think your research impacts society specifically? You say you work with communities. Can you give us a little bit more on that?
Okay, so if you look into this, like I said before, we are looking into rural development, and in this case, it's a broad field. And in this particular instance, we are looking at what is it that they can do to enhance their livelihood, to enhance availability of food, enhance income, you know. So especially if you look, for example, most of them are into agriculture, considering that agriculture is one of the economy drivers in Limpopo. So if you look at that, there are some issues that hamper them from producing. So we're saying, how best can we solve this? For example, if you look into water, how best can we solve water? How can we best, where is the wastage? Where can we save? And because at times they might not be noticing, but with the research with them, they will be able to identify and make a difference. And then if I go maybe into the village chicken one, you would notice that they will be relaxed, they have them, but they are not doing much in extra mile with them. So now if we engage them, you would notice that more are motivated to venture into village chicken production, into better ways which are easier and accessible to them, like medicinal plants to treat these diseases, and at least they have a better housing for the chickens, because you notice some will just leave them roaming around. So in that now, they are even coming up with ideas themselves, not only those that we came up from within the study. So in that case, you would see that at least they are initiating, and they are also being part of the development anchor. And not only the communities are inspired, you notice that the colleagues that you'll be working with are also motivated to engage the communities, to research, because if you look at it, not everybody is really into it. But the moment they see the interest, you'd notice that they are really into it. Even if you look at the students, you would see that they are motivated to complete their studies in time and to be part of the studies, even if they are not within your field. For example, I had research assistants from all the schools in the university. And even right now, we have a WhatsApp group. They keep on bringing in issues of village chickens within that. And so you see that at times you would have forgotten about it, but they are still inspired. It impacted something in them. So it's good to work with them, and it helps me to be really handy and not hesitating to mentor them, not hesitate to be there for them when they need information. I'm inspired to tell you that some of them had come to say, we want to be in cause where we would develop papers out of the work that we did. I know we have done this, but we can go an extra mile. You only come in for mentorship and guide us, but we really want to gain more skills into this. So it's impacting the whole range of people as we continue with the research agenda.
Thank you. Now, all of these positive, beautiful things you shared with us, what are there any challenges that you encountered in your career, and how did you overcome these challenges?
Thank you very much, Prof. I would like to concur with you that it's not an easy path. It doesn't start like that. You struggle somewhere, somehow, but the good thing is there is always a way out. Whenever there's a risk, there is also a strategy on how to come about. If I look at it initially, I would ask myself, when will I have collaborators? Will I really have some, especially international collaborators? So I would see others moving, and I would not know how best can I do this. But because I had a mentor who would help me on how to publish, how to write grant proposals, because he would tell me that just have a proposal with you and wait for a call. And I did that, and it really helped me. And because of that, I was publishing as well. So through publications, people reached out to me. And through grant proposals, I would now see things opening up. And you would see even people coming up with ideas. I've seen you doing this, may we do together. That's when even this core investigation came to play. And you would also agree with me that today with technology, you are on internet and the like, so people can now easily reach out to you. So at least I had to break that wall, which was really a challenge to me. Then the other thing is working with students. I don't know whether we can say they are underprepared or they are slow learners, or you take long with them to really achieve the goal that you want to achieve. Because as a researcher, as an academic, you're not only into research, you're also into making a difference in a student's life. So I had to understand each and every student, understand their diversity. There are some who are faster, some who are less. So in the research process, you introduce them slowly, and you can even split some sections further, so that once they have really understood, now you can go with them. But I'm glad to say, even if some would take more years than expected, but at least they graduated. So now at least I've found ways on how best to supervise different categories of students within the system. The other issue is with communities. Yes, you are doing research with them, but not everybody in the community is understanding you. Some would think you have come to take their things. Some will think, where are you coming from, and so forth. So you would notice that you agree on working on something, and then suddenly you have a meeting, nobody comes, and you don't know what's going on until you are told this is the story. Then you say, okay, may we have time to explain and understand each other. So when you sit down and then you can hear their problems and where you are coming from, and then they realize, no, you are there to build a society with them. You are there to build their own life. It's for them, not you. That's when you realize that even some who were not part of the engagement before would be willing now to work with you. And even if you say, okay, we are done with this particular initiative, they keep calling on you. They keep coming to say, where are you? What do we do next? We want to be with you in this particular engagement. So those are some of the things that I faced, but at least I get a breakthrough into them.
Thank you. Very interesting. Finally, I want to ask you, what are your thoughts of the profile of a modern scientist? What are the characteristics of a modern scientist? Has it changed through the years?
I would like to believe that there's been a change over the years. If you notice, if you look back then, it was about a sole researcher, a sole publisher, and mainly in the lab. But because the world is battling with complex challenges, there is need for a shift on how we approach research, because the research is there to advise policy, is there to solve these problems and so forth. So because of the multifaceted challenges that the world is facing, researchers also have to shift the way they approach research. And in this case, I would want to say that is the reason why, even if you look at funders, they look at multidisciplinarity, collaboration, inter or intra-disciplinary, even intergenerational. So it is all bringing in to give a holistic approach into dealing with the challenges as we do research. And in this case, community engagement has not been an issue then. Yes, they would do, but it was not raised in terms of its bar. But you would notice these days it's gaining a path with time. And we work with the communities. We start with them in the planning. So it's about co-planning with them, co-researching with them, co-creating the research outputs with them, and co-owning, so that even if you pull out, they are sustained, they keep going. And in that, you would see that there is a lasting learning, lasting relationship with the communities. So I would like to say that it is about working with the communities and within the community, and not of the community, on the community, or about the communities. So that's what I've seen over the years. And in future, I would like to say knowledge shifts. If you look at knowledge paradigms, there is a shift with time. Uh, Back then, people probably were concerned about constructivism, constructing information, and so forth. But with time, there was the issue which was now dealing with social justice, dealing with the gender issues, and so forth. But later on, we would realize maybe all these categories may not matter. There is need to bridge the gap, to bring a lot of them within as you are doing research. So because of the shifts in knowledge paradigm, a researcher should also move along and come up with methodologies that are relevant and applicable to the issues at the hand. And if you notice, even in the current situation, there is need also to devise appropriate methodologies in terms of doing research. The ones that we have, not all are now applicable, because if we are looking at the pandemic, we can't probably engage face to face as we were doing, but there is need for coming up with the relevant methodologies which are robust still to bring us the outcome that we want. So really there's been a shift, and we need to keep abreast with the shift and keep abreast in developing methodologies that are applicable in helping us to advance knowledge and to advance and advise policy making.
Thank you very much for your thoughts.
Thank you so much, Prof. I really appreciate having me today, and I hope this will inspire one or two scientists out there.